are raising copays and adding deductibles. Biggest changes in the Medicare drug program in 15 years.
We thank George Litchfield and Litchfield Insurance for their generous support of this radio station.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Have you ever felt like hiding your weed in a sock drawer or a sandwich baggie? Well, you're not alone. But in today's world of cannabis legalization, I ask you, should we still feel the need to hide something that's helping us feel better, live better, and yes, even heal? Today on Just Say No, we're unpacking cannabis consumption in public, the stigma, the smell, and where do we draw the line between discretion and shame? Because let's face it, we're not just getting high, we're getting real. We'll throw to some of my favorite reefer reflections from our GBL TV vault, exploring how people feel about lighting up in public and how and where to stash your stash responsibly and even with style. So sit back, relax, and let's get smarter together with some of the sharpest minds in the industry.
By 2020, Bank of America and Merrill Lynch estimate that will grow to $35 billion. And many experts believe it could eventually reach $200 billion each and every year.
Taking me a while to get it. Had to live and cry to appreciate life, and what you give is worth it. When you're holding me, when you hold me so close, I want better in under your skin. Wanna leave a mark so that I can be sure that you remember what's been. I used to be satisfied.
Hello, and hey, welcome back to Just Say No, where we shine a light on cannabis with clarity, curiosity, and a commitment to credible conversation, elevating the voices, the stories, and the products, shaping the legal cannabis movement, where curiosity is queen. I'm your host, Maria Calabrese, coming to you from the heart of California's cannabis country on KCAA Radio, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and streaming on KCAA TV or wherever you get your podcasts. If you tuned in last week, you know we explored the powerful return of baby boomers to the cannabis space in our episode, Legacy to Legalization, 420, Then and Now. We talked about cannabis then and now, from garage stash boxes and Woodstock vibes to today's tinctures, gummies, and backyard gardens. But as with any good high, there's more to the story. Let's start with the question, can I smoke here? Although California legalized adult use cannabis back in 2016, the rules around where you can actually consume it, still a little hazy, guys. Here's the bottom line. It's perfectly legal to possess cannabis, but it's illegal to smoke, vape, or consume in most public places. That includes parks, sidewalks, beaches, even in front of your house, if it's considered public view. So no, your front porch, it might not be safe. Cannabis lounges are popping up in places like West Hollywood, Coachella, and other parts of Palm Springs, offering safe social spaces for people to get together and consume. But some even may begin serving food, hosting events, offering the kind of experiences you'd get at a wine bar or a cigar lounge. But there are still plenty of blind spots in the law. Did you know it's illegal to consume cannabis within 1,000 feet of a school, daycare, or youth center, especially when kids are present? Or that even passengers can't light up in a vehicle? It's treated just like alcohol under California's open container rules. And here's one more twist. Multi-unit housing can also restrict cannabis use entirely, even if the state says it's legal. And consuming on a balcony in public view, well, that could still get you fined. But in cities without consumption lounges, well, there just aren't many legal places to consume, especially for those who can't consume at home. So yes, cannabis is legal in California, but lighting up in public, it can still land you a fine. I feel like it's kind of like being invited to a party with no designated dance floor. So for a quick visual guide to where you can and can't consume in the Golden State, check out our cannabis consumption cheat sheet available on this episode's show page at greenbeelife.com. You know, should you be able to light up in the park, at a concert, on your front porch? Public cannabis consumption, it remains one of the most hotly debated topics and one of the most misunderstood aspects of legalization. Supporters say cannabis brings relief and that forcing people to hide it is unfair, especially for medical users. Opponents, they often object to the smell. They just don't like it, or they worry about the message it sends. But let's be honest, a lot of that discomfort comes from decades of drug war stigma. Let's see what our team at Green Bee Life Cannabis, our team of cannabis enthusiasts at Green Bee Life had to say about smoking in public. Have I ever consumed in public, and have I ever experienced any stigma associated with that?
Green Bee Life presents Knowledge for Newbies.
Is it against the law to consume in public?
Yes, you are
I
not
don't do-
allowed
I
to
don't
do
do
any
that.
public consumption anywhere.
Wow.
I know that is not a legal thing, but I was at a pool party, it was a birthday party, and I ended up meeting a couple of girls who were really cool and down to smoke.
Because we're working in the business, not to kind of toe the line, but most of the time people are drawn, it's a conversation starter, and there's no problem with it.
I think you'd be surprised how many people love cannabis.
You're not supposed to smoke cannabis in public, I know. It is what it is, so I respect people's wishes, and I take cannabis where it's appropriate.
I do it in areas where it might be offensive to other people, and it doesn't even cross my consciousness that it could be wrong or that I could get in trouble. It's only usually afterwards and after I've put it away that I realize, oh crap, it's probably not good. And I put it out, you know?
I don't like to consume in public. I feel pretty awkward whenever I do. I just don't want to offend anyone else that might be around me.
I was that same person. I was just like very shy. You don't want to do too much, but then you see on the beach, you can go to different parts of town and that's all you smell in the air is just the fresh aroma of cannabis. And it's so refreshing because it's not violence or drugs going on or anything in a negative way. It's like a beautiful beach setting.
I haven't gotten in trouble, but my friends have definitely gotten in trouble for smoking cannabis on the beach, which should be illegal. You shouldn't be able to do that. Get in trouble for smoking on the beach. That's what life's about, you know, especially here in California.
Another girl shows up to the party and she shows up with her parents. And these girls that I want to smoke with get kind of shy and they're like, we should go smoke around the back of the house so nobody sees. And I thought about it for a second, and then I realized, no, people aren't drinking alcoholic beverages around the back of the house. This is exactly the problem we're dealing with. We need to show people, not only is this acceptable, it's safe, and it's okay to do around other people.
Would I consume in public? Yes, because I would. It's time to crush the stigma, right? We don't want to perpetuate it. But no, I haven't. And I'm sure I would feel it in my bones that, oh, I can get in trouble for this. But that's a fear I need to go toward so I could rewire and deprogram that conditioning.
All those stigmas that you have in your mind are being broken just by this beautiful scene that you have. So of course I want to enjoy that. I want to have like my feet up in a hammock and have my favorite blunt. So getting to do that in Los Angeles, getting to do that around the world, it liberated me to say it's not hurting anybody. I'm not going to be around children.
There's kids around, I'll definitely not consume in public.
Not around the kids, right?
No, yeah, not around kids. I don't think they should be exposed to it. My grandfather was a chain smoker. I remember clouds of smoke, being in the living room, trying to watch cartoons through the clouds of smoke. I knew I was never going to be a smoker. But some of my cousins that was in the same room, they went the other way, like, oh, I can't wait to blow my own cloud.
It's funny how if you try to smoke cannabis in public, which I know it's illegal, it's so frowned upon with people who just are so comfortable with cigarette smoke.
But there's nothing wrong with it. I think there should be some more conversation about public consumption. If you can smoke a cigarette in public in a designated smoking area, you should be able to smoke marijuana. I think cigarette smoke is gross.
Yeah.
Marijuana smoke is stinky.
Dank or gross? There's room for both sides of the story, but cigarette smoke, nothing dank about that. Listen, what we need to do here is we have to have room for nuance. We can advocate for respectful use. We don't flinch at alcohol or cigarettes in designated public spaces. So why are we still whispering about weed? Cannabis deserves the same respect. Freedom and responsibility can and should go hand in hand. The key is balance, normalization with mindfulness, common sense, And a perfect example that I'd like to share today of drawing the line between normalization and shame without having to give up certain liberties and freedoms is exactly where Janine Moss, creator of Anime Bags, comes in. Janine is what filmmaker Wendy Borman, who wrote, produced, and directed the award-winning documentary Women of Weed, coins a puffer jet. I got any puffer jets out there? Come on, we need more puffer jets. You're out there. So Janine is not just a fashion visionary. She's one of the original architects of where discretion meets design in the cannabis space. Back in 2015, Janine founded Anabi, the first high-style accessories brand crafted specifically for women who wanted to carry cannabis without compromising on class, style, or scent control. Didn't want to offend anybody, maybe wanted to exercise a little discretion, but didn't want to have to feel like they were hiding it necessarily. So Anabi revolutionized the fashion cannabis landscape with its stigma-shattering line of odor-proof handbags, kits, and cases. They were as smart as sleek. And a bold PR strategy, viral social media buzz, and over 200 media features later led to the brand completely selling out its inventory, proving that we can have discretion without shame and that demand for elevated cannabis lifestyle products, especially for women, are real and is rising. Now, although Anabi closed in 2020, Janine's influence, it hasn't faded. Today, she's the founder of Outfront Solutions, where she advises startups, Fortune 500s, on bold branding, communication strategy, and breakthrough marketing across emerging industries. She may have lit the match that started the odor-proof revolution, but she is still very much on fire. Janine understood something fundamental. You wouldn't carry your yoga mat in a trash bag, right? So why treat your cannabis that way? When you reach into your purse, the last thing you want is for it to smell like a grow house. Yet, For women who consume cannabis responsibly, discretion and dignity were often afterthoughts in product design. That's where Janine stepped in, and Anna B answered with a line of chic, confidence-boosting cannabis accessories that were as intentional as they were beautiful. Let's have a look and listen. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
I had time to visit your beautiful, beautiful booth, and tell us a little bit about Anna B.
Spelled like cannabis without the C, but we pronounce it the fancy French way.
Of course, you're the Coco Chanel of cannabis.
Right. So Anna B, I'm the CEO of Anna B.
CEO and founder.
Yep, and founder. And we are a lifestyle brand that's serving the cannabis consumer, and particularly upscale women. So we're very interested in making our lives better, more convenient, more secure, and more fashionable. We make really high quality, well-designed, discreet products. This is not about emblazing something with a cannabis leaf or a Bob Marley or a flag, a Jamaican flag. This is about your real everyday life, living it the way you like to live it, keeping your private life private and sharing it with whomever you want, and being able to go where you want, and feel confident and secure and discreet when you do it.
And the mechanism for that is
well, that's the secret sauce. So the secret sauce to our products starts with, it starts with a bag that you want to carry. I mean, if you didn't really love this bag, and by the way, I'm a huge fan of Chloe and Prada and, some of the greatest brands. I'm sure you are too.
And I'd imagine they don't offer
the secret sauce. So some of our products are to go inside your already fabulous bag, and some of our products are the bags. This is a good example of one that goes inside the bag. This is a Maya. You can take this off. Now it looks like a cosmetic kit, although it has cute little feet on the bottom, so if you put it on the table
very nice.
fancy dining and you spill your red wine, it's
Oh,
not gonna
those are
mess it up.
adorable. It elevates it. Oh, elevates it.
Exactly.
Like
Higher experience. And then, let's say you put this in your tote. Right now you're going into the restaurant. You stick your phone in the exterior pocket.
What beautiful lining, by the way.
Thank you. Purple and gold are our colors.
Oh, wow. The detail. Let's look at that lining in there.
So you will often find, if not always, a purple lining. What else you'll always
beautiful.
find
It's just
are
such a neat
odor-proof
shade.
compartments, right? So we created something called Aroma Block technology. And what it is it's layers of resin film that are in between the exterior leather and sometimes vegan leather and the interior lining, the purple. There's this resin film which traps the scent, and then it's sealed with an airtight zipper. See how this zipper doesn't look like all zippers?
Wow.
So this is airtight. So this entire thing is odor-proof. You could put a stinky bud, you could smoke something out of a pipe and throw that stinky thing in, or let's say you have tinctures or CBD that you carry every day for medicinal purposes. You don't want them bouncing around on the bottom of your bag and getting things sticky and nasty.
Right.
You put
and
in,
if they do break, they're going to release an odor.
you will never, ever get that odor out.
Wow.
So we have little pockets, like these pockets that are specially designed. You can put
Now
vials
that's
in there.
very unique for a tote this size.
That's right, but for a clutch, right. They usually
That
don't have there's my lighter, there's my matches. In this bag,
wonderful.
I've got my...
Oh, and this is your actual
Okay,
bag.
I'm going to show you my actual bag. So they
Oh.
always have Aroma Block technology. They always have the special pockets for stuff. And they always have our purple lining. And they're
Wonderful.
always designed by women for women, which
Oh.
is why you can get the
Ne-
phone right out. when you need it.
Yes, and even though this has a utilitarian purpose to block odor, it's aesthetically so pretty not seeing the zipper.
It is,
It looks like a fashion statement.
Well, it is.
It is. And now, why the Maya? Well, how do you name these?
Oh, okay. Well, that's just a little nod to the fabulous women of weed. I mean, Maya is named after Maya Angelou, who is perhaps one of the greatest cannabis consumers of all time.
No.
Oh, yeah, you didn't know that she was?
Maya Angelou?
Maya Angelou. She says that the reason why she made it through all of her parenting, I think she was a single mother for a while.
Yeah, many challenges.
So she consumed cannabis, have a lot of fun. She's had a lot of great quotes by it. She is
I didn't
a
know.
celebrated cannabis consumer.
Maya Angelou.
And this is the Lady G. And I'm not going to tell you who that's named after because I think you probably already know.
Gaga.
That's right.
Ah, a Star is Born.
Exactly. We name them after the great women, the women who have been outspoken about it. And we want to pay a little homage to the early
That's
pioneers.
wonderful.
So this is the Lady G.
Oh.
And this is
the founder's choice, at least for today, with
Yeah.
what you're wearing.
Well, I have to say, this is usually
You
my
look
choice.
beautiful, by the
because,
way.
it goes with everything. But you see,
It looks very nice.
This-
Oh, I like this, Janine. I
Snake is the
like
super in of this
this.
year, and it looks fabulous with you. So look at how Lady G just
What?
So yeah,
What?
so it's convertible. So we're all about utility, and the reason is because we women have
goodness.
lives that are very complicated, and we need stuff that makes it better, easier,
And it's
more
such
convenient.
it's such a pain to have to change your bag.
Right. So we've got some really cool things to work on that.
Ah,
but
so
can't
then you
can't
don't
say
have
too
to.
much. But this is
Oh.
the Lady G. I use her all day because I can get everything in it.
And you consume.
I do. I always have since I was a teenager growing up in Venice Beach, California. But when I moved to New York, I have a career in marketing and branding. Everybody's much more discreet. So that's where I got my
Especially in the
discreet
East
chops.
Ah.
Was learning how to survive in New York with the millions of other women just like me.
And there are millions of others.
That's
yes.
right, and they are consuming too, and they were my peers. They're at ad agencies, they're in the music business, they're working for Comcast, they're at City Hall, they're everywhere.
Not that couch-locked stereotype of a stoner.
No, because especially women, we're not like that. We like a little buzz, especially if we're not drinking. I'm not a drinker, really. Because I grew up on cannabis, I just never turned into a drinker.
Sure.
And so when I always went to parties and everybody's drinking, you know how much fun it is to be the only one who hasn't been drinking at a party.
Sure.
So you have to sneak out and go and have a puff so that you can.
want to feel elevated and lifted.
And you want to laugh at their jokes, right?
Especially when they're not funny.
That's very important. So I developed ways of doing this, right? And I would sneak out with the other women, and we would see each other heading for the door at a party, right?
Yeah.
You learn how to tune into that group.
That 420 code.
That's right, exactly.
You have code.
And then you're out there, and then you're going back, and listen, it could be a business party. In one case, in the case where that actually gave me my aha moment, we were going to a comedy club, but it was all city council that was in there. So we couldn't go in smelling and all these women who were driving Mercedes and carrying Louis Vuitton, and here we are pulling baggies. It's completely ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Out of our purses.
Oh my God.
Can't find anything. Next thing you know, we're all in this car in a Mercedes, and it's all smoky, and we all smell,
Never
and we're
thought
going,
about that.
and we're all going, oh no, we're going into this thing. So who's got perfume? Who's got Tic Tacs? Who's got some hand cream? So we're pulling all this stuff out, and it's like, we're not guilty teenagers. What the hell are we doing?
Yes, and this is not a devil's weed.
Right, exactly. So the next day I said, I'm going to find us a kit. Couldn't find one.
Really?
And that set in motion the future Anabi.
Now I'm going to look at comedy clubs sponsored by City Council. Who's carrying an Anabi?
Well, yeah. When you're part of the tribe, you come to recognize
Part of the tribe.
this symbol here.
That's beautiful.
Which is how you know it's an Anabi. But we never put
That's
our name on the
beautiful.
outside because we're discreet.
No.
Right? So you have to be in the know. Yes.
What would be your goal for to destigmatize cannabis? So we still need it for privacy, the concealment, but to destigmatize.
I want to do a couple things. One thing is I want everyone to see women as a market in cannabis. And the reason is if you're not recognized as an economic force, then nothing's ever made for you and you have no influence. So
the supply and demand.
exactly. So women have been there, but nobody knew it. There was always all these men things, right? There was never anything for women. When I created this, there was nothing out there for women. So now there is. So that's one of the goals, is to continue that process of making women important.
That's nice.
Yeah. And another thing that we want to do is we just want to serve the cannabis lifestyle. So we're really a lifestyle brand. So whatever will make your life better as you consume cannabis and you go about your life, whether you're carrying it medicinally all day long, right? And you want to keep it away from your kids, or if you're recreational and you just don't think that you should be carrying baggies and tea tins anymore.
Yes.
And you're ready to be as kind to your cannabis as you are to your tennis racket or your iPad or your wallet or your glasses.
You know what? Cannabis is a choice, and it's nobody's business, nor should it be anybody's business. So,
and you should be able to go where you want, do what you want, be responsible with it, and not fear any unwelcome interactions.
And enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Yes, enjoy the journey. I always like to quote Betty Davis here. If you want a thing done well, get a couple of old broads to do it. Oh, she knew. And, you know, I really adhere to Janine's philosophy. If it's something I live by. Cannabis is legal. It's helped me. It's helped horrific chronic back pain, and now it's time to make it civilized. She's spot on, absolutely right. She demonstrates, has showed us that discretion, it doesn't have to be about shame and 420 code and hiding. It's about choice, empowerment, and having cannabis products that reflect our lifestyle, not define it. While Janine sparked the movement, brands like Revelry, oh my God, they have the best odor-proof products. We have them in our store. This is their cooler for the summer. It is incredible. greenbeelife.com. We have a great curation of storage and of odor-proof bags. So Revelry, why I like them is they're continuing this evolution. They offer odor-proof solutions that are practical, they're durable, and they're design forward. They're built for life on the go. The Revelry bags, they're water resistant, they're carbon filtered, and they're ready for whatever adventure you're taking your flower on. Whether you lean sporty, sleek, or tactical, these Revelry products, they let you move through the world with style and security. You can find Revelry bags and other wonderful curation of elevated cannabis lifestyle gear in our Green Bee Life Hive. Whenever I find something wonderful, I like to share it because discretion and dignity should always go hand in hand. And, you know, I hope Anna B could make more bags, but if they don't, there's a lot of other good brands. And while they did sell them all out, I have about 6 left. Just saying. So, you know, we've talked about public discretion, right? Where can we smoke when we're out? And how do we stash it? But what about how you treat your cannabis at home? You know, gone are the days of hiding your flower in a shoebox under the bed, top shelf closets, or in Ziploc bags. We have choices, guys, and we have options. And your stash deserves it. From humidity-controlled metal cases to carved wooden boxes. I've got Marley Natural back there next to the NBC sign. Beautiful walnut sustainable wood lockbox, to artisan glass jars. 420 Science has these beautiful jars. They're great for gifting flower. They're not dark, so I wouldn't store flower in it. You want to do it in a dark container, but what a wonderful, wonderful. They have all different designs and patterns. And Burnt is they have beautiful rolling trays, but they also have these wonderful, wonderful ceramic jars, seal tight proof tops. This is the berries and cream. They have beautiful wood at the top that they use for the rolling trays. They also have Boreal. So really nice. I mean, decorative. Storage is now part of the cannabis lifestyle. And I truly believe in the movement we're trying to do on the road from, prohibition to legalization, legacy to legalization. When you treat your cannabis with care and intention, you're honoring your ritual, your wellness, and yourself. And, you should be able to with cannabis. I posed the question to Team Grade B, where do you store your cannabis at home? And I would like to share. Let's have a listen.
That is a great question. Where do I keep my cannabis at home?
Green Bean Life presents Knowledge for Newbies.
Wow. Everywhere. It's not good.
There's no place in my house that cannabis has not touched. So it's in my backyard in my garden, it's in my kitchen in my cabinet.
I actually have a little space outside to store my cannabis. It has the Stash Logics, my bud vase, all my accoutrements are safely up above and away.
I have like a little shrine. No, I'm just kidding. I have a little box. I keep all my my papers and a little grinder together. Yeah, I try to keep it all in one spot so I don't lose it, like my car keys.
I have a little cosmetics bag with handles on it that I keep my cannabis in.
You have to cross over all these fortresses to get to my cannabis because I need to keep it safe away from my children, out of precious hands and eyes.
You definitely want to keep it out of reach of children, animals, pets, especially if it's edibles or anything that, could accidentally be consumed.
All of our edibles and other products are stored in a drawer and secure. But the flowers we keep kind of up on a bar.
I don't keep my cannabis in any place particular. There's no minors in the house. So I usually keep it in a drawer. I have some flour in a small little jar that I keep nice, cool and dry in a drawer.
I have a metal file cabinet next to my bed, and on the top one, it's a lock. So it can be locked if we don't lock it. We have no reason to, but if we're babysitting or something, we could lock it.
We have a coffee table that has a lower shelf. That's normally where it's stored, just right there on the bottom with our bowl, grinder, jar of flour.
We have a cannabis bar in our home.
Yeah.
So alcohol is actually put up in a cabinet, and our cannabis is out in the open and available for anyone to actually consume.
I don't hide it. I keep it out in the open. I try to be social with it, and I try to offer it to people who are my friends and guests or my roommate.
I keep my tincture in my kitchen where my cordless phone is. Yes, I still have a landline.
I have a coffee table with a drawer, and it's all organized by strains, the type of strain it is, and with the new packaging you have these nice jars with all the information on them. So yeah, it's very organized.
And then my girlfriend, she has her own separate little place. She keeps it in a little Tupperware thing. I'm trying to get rid of that Tupperware, move everything into this one place because I feel like it's more safe. And I'm like an OCD kind of guy, I want everything in one place.
At night, before I sit down to read or watch television, I stop by there, check to see if I have any messages, and take a little bit.
We're constantly getting samples and amazing new flower to try. So we've got 20 different strains. So when our friends come over, they can check out different varietals and strains. And it's kind of at the forefront, front and center.
I have 18 eighths right now at home, different strains. I like to have variety and many different strains. And I don't like to compromise with price because you want tested product, you want clean product, and high quality.
I'm not just conscious about the quality of the cannabis I'm using because I'm using it for medicinal purposes. I'm conscious of the papers that I'm rolling it with. Now I've started cutting off the glue strip on my rolling papers and taking away more of the paper, and it's such a smooth smoke. It's really nice that way.
Where do I keep my cannabis? I keep it in a computer desk in the drawer right here to my left, so it's like within hand's reach.
If it's tincture, I keep it in my cabinet so then that way it doesn't spoil. But for the most part, my cannabis is like an arm stretch away.
In my living room, I have a nice little jar on my table. Then I have a bookshelf as well that has like a few different strands in the bookshelf.
I still hide it from my parents so they don't know it's there. But yeah, it's right there on the desk in the computer. And the bong is hidden somewhere else because it's too big.
I have a separate space for my dab rig and all my little dabs, which I guess I don't do too often, but I have them for just in case. And I keep that like on a desk in my closet.
In my bedroom, I have my indica and indica hybrids like on my bedside table. And I just always keep a pre-rolled in every ashtray. And there's an ashtray in every room.
I have an ashtray sitting on top of my record player with a half-smoked joint there. I have an ashtray right by my bed on my nightstand with a half-smoked joint there. I have some tinctures in the nightstand. I have a jar of flower in there too.
It's in my bathroom in my bath bombs or my hemp body wash. It is in my bedroom on my rolling tray. So nowhere that you can not find cannabis in my house.
Then I'm usually surprised when I find cannabis other places, but it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
Part of destigmatizing the plant, to be honest. We don't need to hide it anymore.
We like to have it out so when people come over, they can talk to us about it and they're like, whoa, you have cannabis out? You're not worried? It's like, well, we work in cannabis and we believe in what it's done for us and our friends. And so here, check it out.
For the complete episode, please visit greenbeelife.com. Thank you for watching and please subscribe.
That was great. So, a pro tip that I'd like to throw in is store your flower in a dark, cool place and ditch the plastic. Your flower and your lungs will thank you. Speaking of your lungs and of discretion and smoking in public places or at home around people, there is a whole cloud culture when it comes to the smoke. But we also have vaping devices as well. And it's interesting because I read something that really caught my attention about cloud culture, smoking versus vaping. And, you know, when I say ditch the plastic, we've got now more civilized ways to store our stash. According to a study I read at Johns Hopkins Medicine, said that vaping dry herb cannabis may expose you to fewer harmful chemicals than smoking. So smoking versus vaping, not only on a discretionary level, but on a health level. And, you know, what's also interesting about dry herb vaporizers versus smoking, doesn't have to just be cannabis. Many people now I've discovered are vaporizing herbs like lavender, peppermint, even eucalyptus. Now you add cannabis to the mix and you've got a cleaner, more customizable experience. So I caught up with the ladies at Mary Jane University and they had some interesting things to say and products to show me portable dry herb vaporizers. And I asked them about smoking versus vaping. Let's have a quick listen.
So this is known as a dry herb vaporizer. I mean, you can use the flower. It's different than a vape pen.
Wow. So, and then I also have, this is the Hydrology 9. It is also a dry herb vaporizer, but it has a water filtration system. So this one's pretty high tech. This is even made from space metal.
We are a long way from the tent over the rocks in the cave.
Yes.
Now we are.
We've come a long way.
Whoa,
Exactly.
we are. So this delivery system is space metal.
Yeah,
But-
it's strong enough. It's supposed to be portable, durable, leak-proof.
But if the idea is to get high, it should be space metal.
Right?
Space metal.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
And it's pretty easy, just. And everything's set really low temperature, so you're not going to see a big plume of smoke. It's going to be a vapor. So I can
And
taste the flavor of
You're
the
getting the purest like form of the medicine when you're vaporizing, as opposed to lighting it. You get the butane from the lighter or whatever other chemical that it goes with.
Wow.
Like an edible, if you have a brownie, you're eating the sugar as well as the flour and gluten, all that stuff. So this is one of the best, most effective ways to medicate.
Wow.
And then, as you can see, they're convenient on the go. And
Yeah.
this Claudius 9 is just fun at parties.
Yeah,
Wow,
wow,
now
pretty long battery life too. You can get about like 3 hours on a good full charge.
Really? Now, and I don't smell anything. So there's not secondary smoke with this?
Well, it's not smoke, it's vapor.
It's vapor. So it's actually just some of them, some people, there's a
Yeah.
culture with the clouds. There's a cloud culture.
You can turn the temperature up if you would like to get more of that smoke, the
Mhm.
cloud,
That
what it
effect.
feels
And
like.
actually, your next item is all about the clouds.
Yes. So this one is kind of, I equivalent it to a dab rig, like a portable dab rig, because this is going to be mostly for your concentrates. And this has a quad coil, so it's going to get really hot. This one's going for that heat. I don't know if you can see inside there. There's 4 little coils. You just put your concentrate right inside there, put it back together. This one's really cool because it has this magnetic closure, so it's bam, and then you just
Do another demo.
Now I can see how these parties will be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We do have deep CBD,
Yes,
high CBD.
we like to make it a light experience. And like I said, as far as the ingestible THC, that's limited to 5. And when you eat something, that's going to stay with you much longer than when you smoke something.
Yeah, when it's processed by your liver.
Now, could you have just CBD and not even THC in that?
There are CBD concentrates, and there are strains that are higher in CBD.
I really enjoyed sitting down with the women of Mary Jane University. They compared for me popular vaporizer brands. And I'll tell you, I was blown away by Da Vinci, blown away, pardon the pun. The Da Vinci, PAX, Storz and Bickel. There are some really, really interesting, discreet, modern forms of smoking, which studies are showing could have fewer effects when it comes to lung health. So the portable dry herb vaporizers that I was most impressed with was Claudius 9, Da Vinci, PAX, Storz and Bickel. And this is on my quest to find the best ones. We do offer at Green Bee Life a marketplace of very top shelf, top tier, curated brands. If I find something good, I bring it back to the hive and I like to share it. So those are definitely popular and trending, discreet modern devices with no secondhand smoke or odor. And yeah, it's interesting. It's worth looking into. In fact, I even was speaking to someone called in and said that they wean themselves off of cigarette smoking by getting a portable dry herb vaporizer, using tobacco, and then adding and diluting the tobacco, mixing it, making a blend with other herbs, including cannabis, and eventually down to no tobacco in the vape. So, hey, it's interesting. If you have any interesting thoughts, stories, share them with us. We'd love to know. So from health to discretion, dry herb vaporizers, they seem to be leading the evolution of cannabis consumption. Now, I would like to turn, though, speaking of wanting to hear from you, we've got a couple of good listener questions here. We have Tom from Westlake Village. Tom is asking, How do I tell my family I'm pro cannabis so that I don't have to leave my house every time I want to smoke? Well, hey, those are two different issues. Your family has to be okay with the scent, the terpenes. I would educate them on the terpenes, but no, first, seriously, Tom, great question. And good for you for wanting to share it with them. Some families are more open than others. Family dynamics, those are as unique as cannabis cultivars. So I would say start with your why. Start with your why. Whether you're consuming it for sleep, pain relief, or just peace of mind. And peace of mind should not be minimized. I think it's underrated. Speak from your personal experience, how you're benefiting from it, and try to explain that there aren't alternatives if there are not alternatives, or the benefits versus the side effects or downside of the alternatives that exist for why ever you're using it. I mean, there are great articles out there. We had a wonderful episode 3, with a wonderful neuroscientist, Dr. Manesh Gurn, and he was talking about the effects of cannabis and psychedelics on the brain. And anyway, he spoke about how Gen Xers are moving away from alcohol to cannabis. And he talked about the different effects of cannabis on the brain versus alcohol on the brain. So I don't know how old you are. We don't promote anyone under 21 consuming it, but if you need it and you're under 21 for medical reasons and you're under medical supervision, every situation is unique. But start with the why. Start with the why and be patient. Listen. When you say, how can I talk to them about it? Listen, really listen to their concerns. Dude, I'm probably from their generation, and it was drilled into us. I mean, if I'm guessing, your parents are probably children of DARE. And it would have scared the bejesus out of me only less than 10 years ago if I knew one of my family members were smoking it. So listen and be informed so that you can come back and you can have a very empathic response to their concerns. Alleviate their concerns. Who knows? Hopefully they'll be puffing and passing with you sometime soon. All right. So start with your why and do your homework. Be prepared. All right. So next question. We've got Jill from Manhattan Beach. Jill is saying, can you smoke or vape cannabis at outdoor events like concerts or festivals in states that are legal? No. Unless the event has a special license for on-site cannabis consumption, which is rare. Most venues follow state laws prohibiting public use, even in legal states, Jill. But some events are able to get these special licenses for on-site cannabis consumption, but you got to check it out and find out first. It's a trending question, especially as more festivals permit alcohol and have these wellness zones. Cannabis consumers like yourself, they're asking why they're still restricted, even in legal states, which takes us back to the clash between legalization and venue-specific rules. Normalization versus liability comes down to the local county's rules and regulations and whether the event is specially permitted for cannabis use. Oh, these are good questions, guys. We've got Judy from San Diego. Hey, Judy, thanks for listening. So Judy wants to know, are cannabis consumption lounges legal everywhere? And what can you actually do inside one? Great question. No, they're not legal everywhere. They're not legal statewide in California, even though California is a legal state. So while California just greenlit lounges to serve food and host entertainment, it's a new 2025 law, each individual city decides whether to permit them, and local restrictions, they vary widely. In approved lounges, what can you do in them? You can typically smoke, vape, or eat cannabis. And new laws may allow food and entertainment alongside cannabis use. But as far as I know, these lounges are not permitted to serve or offer psychoactive food. So you maybe can bring your own edible in and order a salad. You want an infused salad dressing? Got to bring your own if it's allowed. So there's confusion over state versus city rules and what on-site consumption really means remains, again, hazy. So it's the state versus city rules. So know your city rules. Okay, let's see. I got time for one more. And I've got Anthony, from out of California. Okay, Anthony from Ohio. Hey, Anthony, thanks for listening. Anthony wants to know what's the difference between public and public view. And can I get fined for smoking on my own balcony? Yes, you can. Even if you're on a private property, consuming cannabis in public view, like on a balcony or porch, it may still leave you open to a fine, depending on, again, the local ordinances. So the enforcement, it's very inconsistent. Consumers in multi-unit housing or city apartments are often caught in a legal gray area, personal property rights versus nuisance laws, and the need for clearer statewide guidelines. But guys, the more respectful we are, the less of a nuisance we present, right? Then our personal property rights will hopefully prevail. So it's not what you light up, it's how you show up. So responsibility, I think, goes a long way. Respect for our neighbors. So I hope that answers your questions. Moving on to our cannabis glossary for the day. It might seem like an obvious term, but today's term is odor proof because there's a lot of hype out there. There are these wonderful, this is one of my leftover Anabi bags, and this is for real, true odor proof. It doesn't just mean smell resistant. You got to watch out for the hype. It means serious engineering. It means carbon lined filters, sealed water resistant linings. Revelry is a great example and brand. I have the cooler. They do have smaller. They even have these little tiny pocket money coin purses. But you're looking for carbon lined filters, odor proof. What odor proof means is carbon lined filters, sealed water resistant linings, rubber seams, and water resistant zippers. It's tech meets style. Doesn't just mean smell proof. And if it's truly odor proof, it's great for keeping your gear private, safe, and fresh. Here's a fun fact. Some odor proof bags are even canine tested. Part of Anabi's going viral was a wonderful, wonderful article in it's either Fortune magazine or Forbes, and they wanted to test and really define what odor proof was. So they took one of Anabi bags in Times Square, New York, before marijuana was legal in New York. So they couldn't test it with marijuana, but they put three things into it: a dead fish, cat food, and something else equally gnarly. And they walked around Times Square and they did the sniff test. They had people smell it, and the only thing they could really smell was the leather. So odor proof. Odor proof has true meaning. It doesn't just mean smell resistant, especially in the cannabis space. So I have Before we wrap up today, I have some final thoughts. Today's conversation, it wasn't just about, I know I mentioned this earlier, where you can light up. It was about how you show up. See, this is going to help the movement, guys. And whether you're coming out of the green closet, shopping for an odor-proof stash bag, or advocating for public consumption spaces, remember, this cannabis use, it can be elevated. It can and it is classy, respectful, and kind. It's not the outdated stereotypes, and we've got to crush those. And we lead by example, right? And we've got some wonderful brands that are emerging to help us do that. It's not about hiding. It's not about hiding in the shadows. It's about choosing how and when we share this part of our lives. Whether you're lighting up, vaporizing, or locking it away in a velvet-lined box, how you consume reflects who you are. And you're not defined by those outdated stereotypes. You're not a pothead if you need a gummy to fall asleep at night and stay asleep through the night. Thoughtful, responsible, empowered. I believe it was Snoop in it was a GQ interview who said, "Wherever I go, my scent follows. That's how you know I'm close." Well, good for you, Snoop. And that's right. So whatever you're saying, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to just point out how far we've come. Because when it comes to drawing the line between discretion and shame, we need to remember 420, it didn't start out as a holiday. It started as a code, a whisper, a ritual shared between a few curious high schoolers chasing a secret stash after school. It was more mystery than movement. And yet, here we are, decades later. Cannabis is no longer underground, guys. It's in documentaries, dispensaries, dinner table conversations, and yeah, even on front porches. It's no longer just about rebellion. It's about ritual, about relief, and about reclaiming our relationship with a plant that connects us while respecting those who truly just can't stand, don't like the scent, or are still influenced by decades of misleading propaganda. Because at the end of the day, cannabis is more about than just getting high from what some legitimately register as a pungent smell. It's about getting real, getting curious, and getting well on your own terms while respecting and educating proponents. But staying well and keeping this industry well, it requires more than good intentions. So if you care about the future of public consumption laws, now is the time to join me and raise our collective wisdom, curiosity, and voices. Visit greenbeelife.com for trusted education, product guides, glossary terms, and links to opposing harmful bills and ones that support those that move responsible use forward. And while you're there, we want to hear from you. Send us your questions, your stories, your pain points, because your voice, it might just shape a future episode. Cannabis is a multi-generational movement now. Whether you came up with zigzags or discovered gummies in your golden years like me, there's a seat at this circle for you. Let's keep building bridges. Let's keep learning from each other. Let's keep this conversation going together. Next week, we've got more blooming. So stay tuned. Until then, I invite you to share this episode with someone who's curious, someone who's skeptical, or someone who just needs to hear that there is a place for them in this space. And remember, cannabis isn't about just getting high. It's about getting well, being informed, and living your fullest life. And here on Just Say No, where curiosity is queen, I'll always keep it real, relevant, and rooted in truth. Have a great week. Stay lit, stay safe, and stay informed, especially of your city ordinances. Just Say No is a Green Bee Life presentation airing live weekly on Friday afternoons from 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific on KCA Radio and KCAA TV. Archived audio episodes are on Green Bee Life, greenbeelife.com, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and most third-party major platforms. For archived videos, check them out on GBL TV, on Green Bee Life, YouTube, and Rumble. To follow us, our Instagram and Facebook is at Just Say No Radio. To apply to be a guest on the show or for sponsorship and advertising opportunities, go to greenbeelife.com/Just Say No, and feel free to reach out to me, Maria, for any questions. I'm at maria@greenbeelife.com or call me at 818-758-6925.